zone.
Folks, we're outside the Manhattan Center live in New York City today for Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero's weigh-in day. That's right, 24 hours away from Fatal Fury, presented by The Ring Magazine and live on DAZN. The hard work's done. The weight has been made. Now we just have to face our fighters off for the final time before they step in that ring. And I'll tell you what, they may not be eating something like this, but I definitely am. I cannot wait. I'm hungry for these fights. And it's a big weekend, so stay tuned. Live on DAZN. It's time for the weigh-ins.
Live on DAZN Worldwide, Friday, May 2nd, 6 p.m. Eastern. Garcia versus Romero. King Rye returns in a history-making Times Square takeover, featuring Haney versus Ramirez and Teofimo versus Barboza Jr. Witness a fight night never seen before on a knockout weekend of boxing. Get Garcia versus Romero Friday, May 2nd. Live exclusively on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com.
Times Square will be center stage for the return of Ryan Garcia as he headlines against the hard-hitting Rolly Romero on a star-studded card, which also includes Devin Haney facing Jose Ramirez and a hot-tempered feud between Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barboza Jr., who will square off for the WBO Super Lightweight Championship. And folks, we're in the Manhattan Center, 24 hours away from that star-studded card, but today is the official weigh-ins, and I'd like to welcome you back once again. My name is Wade Clemens by The Ring Magazine. I'm with the boxing boys, the Brooklyn boys, Akamarak, and who are we standing with, gentlemen? Iron Mike Tyson. How you doing, Mike?
Great, thanks, guys.
Another Brooklyn boy.
Brownsville in the house.
In the house.
This is going to be a good fight. I don't think anybody's been evenly matched here. This is going to be a great fight. They attack the old right there. I love these fights.
Mike, growing up in NY, you remember how Times Square was back in the days with the peep shows and how to, I mean, could you ever imagine? Right, could you imagine it being shut down for a professional prize fight?
Listen, I've seen training, I've seen sparring in Madison Square Garden before.
Right.
Yeah, Chapman sparred in Madison Square Garden for a fight. But man,
Take this, Mike. I'm going to help you out.
all right, thank you. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, of course not.
This has been the first of its kind.
Now, we are here. It's historic. It's the first one you've ever seen. But the people, they want to know your opinion about being back in New York. How do you feel being back in your city?
Hey, listen, this is my hometown. I was born here. It's my favorite place. And I can't say enough. I love New York City. Brooklyn's in the house. I'm a son of Brownsville, Brooklyn.
Brownsville in the house, baby.
All day, every day.
Never ran, never will. Mike, what are the things you do when you come to Brooklyn?
I go to Brownsville.
And see the people that you used to grow up with? You grew up with?
Absolutely. I go there all the
Every time?
Every time.
Wow.
Every time. I've been
That's
doing
a
that all
grip.
my life. And if it wasn't for Brownsville, I wouldn't be in this. That prepared me for this. You know, pain, suffering, adversity. That was all in Brownsville, and that's all in here. That's why a lot of fighters get broken, go to drugs, commit suicide, because they haven't prepared for hardness and suffering.
Ryan Garcia, you built a good rapport with him. He's been on your podcast. He calls you his big brother. Like, he has a big stage tomorrow night in Times Square. Is Ryan built for the bright lights?
Absolutely, because he's chaotic, but the chaos is controlled. So that's why people are so excited. It looks like he's out of control, but the chaos is very controlled. He's very prepared. He's conscious of what he's doing, and it always works to get into the head of the crowd, the people, and the opponent.
You know, Mike, I always say that you're the most famous man on the planet, right? So imagine if you, in your heyday, fought in the Times Square. It'd be chaos.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of crime going on that night.
Listen, Mike, you have had, I think we're going to get you another mic in here. Let's try this one out. How's that sound, Mike?
Thank you very much.
There we go. There we go. You have been in so many big fights across your career, recently as well. How are these guys feeling one day away, 24 hours out from probably the biggest fight they've ever been in?
Nervous, scared, but excited and very happy to be going. Listen, this is a fight of dream to be seen by the world.
Mike, Turkey Al Sheikh has been so innovative since you know, coming into the sport of boxing, like the type of matchups that His Excellency is putting on. I mean, what do you say about him infusing himself into the sport and kind of breathing life into it?
100%. The problem is when he's not doing it no more, we're gonna go back to the doldrums, or we're going back to the fucking back to the bottom of the house. Boxing was rotten until he came on the scene. Nobody was fighting each other.
So we need him to stay
around. You gotta stay around. You gotta stay around. Mike, we are, like I said, we're 24 hours out. This spectacle is something like I've never seen. It's gonna be in the middle of Times Square.
For small guys. You've never seen anything this for a guy under 150 pounds, 147 pounds.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable to see. Can you imagine all those billboards lit up while they're fighting? All the pageantry around this.
I can't wait.
Neither can we. Neither can we.
It's something that's never been done in New York before, unless we weren't born when it happened.
Right.
But I'm excited to be a part of this
But
generation.
what's crazy is that we're doing that. We're shutting down all of Times Square, and everybody's going to go crazy. But they really going to go crazy when they see you walking in.
But listen, I know that's great too. But look how much money they're missing in Times Square. When it slows down like that.
That means that a lot of money has to be put up for that. You know what I mean? They ain't just letting that money go for nothing.
No way.
Now, talk about this. So, Ryan Garcia is in the main event. Devin Haney is also on the card like a co-main. But they're supposed to fight in October if they both win. What is it when you have a fight ahead of you, but you got to win the one in front of you first? What type of pressure does that put on the fighter?
Well, it puts a lot of pressure, especially all these guys got a 50-50 chance of winning.
Right.
There's no definite winner on this card.
Yeah.
You know, so everything's going to be exciting. All the guys, they're nervous, they're scared, they're anxious, but they're all confident they're going to win.
They're ready.
When does that nervousness go away?
Huh?
Right when you get into the ring, when you walk into the ring,
It stays
or
with
when
you.
you're on the stage with your underwear?
No, listen. You embrace it, and it becomes your friend, and it helps you reach your highest potential.
I love
Fear is the friend, but we think it's the enemy. We don't have a relationship with fear. We have to have a relationship with fear in order to control it.
How do you develop that relationship with fear?
All my life I've been training, preparing myself, doing things that I was scared to do. I'm scared to talk to this girl because everybody likes her and I don't got no money.
No, I don't know. I saw you doing that a little earlier.
No.
You ain't that scared.
No, look at me now. Look at me now. The most famous guy around. And look at me now. I'm talking about when I'm 14, 15, I don't got shit. I live in an abandoned building with my family. It's totally different. Totally different.
That's different. And you know what will be different? It will be this event, this magnitude of an event, this Friday on May 2nd. We're going to get rid of you for now, Mike. We're going to send you down to the stage. I wish you could stay up here with us, trust me. I wish. But the crowd has to hear from you, Mike.
Okay.
These people here, they came out, let's be honest, to see you as well. So we're going to let you go. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you.
I'll see you in Mario's. I might swing by later.
Bless you, Mike.
There he is, folks. Iron Mike Tyson, and we will now look at this insane fight card, starting with our main event for the WBA regular welterweight championship. Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero, and Devin Haney is taking on Jose Ramirez in another welterweight bout over 12 rounds. And Teofimo Lopez versus Arnold Barboza will be for the ring and WBO Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Rito Tsusumi, a prospect we all want to see, is taking on LaVale Weddington in a featherweight bout, and the Battle of the Badges kicks off the card. James Gennari versus Joel Allen. It's New York's bravest versus New York's finest in 3 rounds of fighting. Gentlemen, we just had Mike Tyson on stage. That was pretty freaking cool, if I do say so myself. Iron Mike Tyson, former undisputed champ, the baddest man on the planet.
You know, I just called him up and invited him.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had the connection.
He didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know, man. I didn't know.
It's a Brooklyn connection.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't know. I wasn't a part of that, but I was definitely appreciative of that because, I mean, how else do we go?
Was that your first time meeting Mike?
Say it one more time.
Was that your first time meeting Mike Tyson?
Well, you know, from a distance, but you know what? I'm appreciative of it, and it looks like the people are about to be appreciative of it because as of right now, we're going to send it down to David Diamante with our fighter introductions.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Manhattan Center for the official weigh-in for 2nd, from the crossroads of the world, Times Square, New York City. It's all being brought to you courtesy of the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine. SNK Corporation, the publisher of the famous video fighting game Fatal Fury, City of Wolves. Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, and BoxRaw. We're sponsored by the Public Investment Fund. Visit Saudi, STC, SRMG, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudia, the national airline of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Season, Milaf Cola, Visit Qatar, Core Group, Desert, NHC, Jocko, Sky, Arab National Bank, First Data, Sella, and SMC. Ladies and gentlemen, this historic night with 3 main events is available worldwide by the pay-per-view now at DAZN.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the official weigh-in, so without further ado, let's go ahead and bring the fighters up to the stage so they can face the scale and face each other. Our first contest, it's a special light heavyweight attraction, the Battle of the Badges, the FDNY versus the NYPD. It's the bravest versus the finest. Now making his way to the stage, he represents the New York City Police Department, a proud member of the force for 17 years, 41-fight amateur veteran fighting out of Staten Island, New York, Joel Allen. And his opponent now making his way to the stage. He represents the FDNY. He's a courageous member of New York's bravest for 7 years, 31-fight amateur veteran, fighting out of Staten Island, New York, James Gennari. Now to the scale, Joel Allen. 175.4 for Joel Allen, 175.4. And now to the scale, representing the FDNY, James Gennari. 175, bang on the light heavyweight limit for James Gennari, 175 pounds.
Battle of the Badge. Are we staying with our picks, guys?
Well, I am, because I like the style of the FDNY. I think Ak is happy that his
my guy's ripped
got
up.
some muscles.
I'm saying,
that helps, but
Joel is in good shape. 3 rounds.
That helps. That means he was training hard.
And Joel holds 2 wins over FDNY.
I heard he's undefeated.
Undefeated.
I heard he's undefeated.
James looking to get it back. There's a little extra motivation
what I'm
there.
thinking is
James Gennari versus Joel Allen. 3 rounds, light heavyweights, Battle of the Badges, Fatal Fury, City of Wolves, Times Square, New York City.
I don't know, Barack. Abs telling a good tale.
Abs don't win fights.
Oh.
Okay.
Abs don't win fights.
But they tell the story. They tell the story.
Tell him, Barack. Talk to him.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, our next contest, it's a 6-round super featherweight special attraction, making his way to the stage, fighting out of Chicago, Illinois. Please welcome Lavelle Whittington. And his his opponent now making his way to the stage. Friday night, he'll be making his much-anticipated professional debut. In 2021, he captured gold at the World Youth Championships. He's now a ring ambassador. Please welcome the Southpaw sensation from Nirashino, Chiba, Japan, Reito Tsutsumi. Now to the scale, Lavelle Whittington. $127.8 for Lavelle Whittington, 127.8.
Shredded.
And now to the scale, Reito Tsutsumi. 128.8 for Reito Tsutsumi, 128.8.
Guys, both of these guys have zero body fat.
I'm going to tell you something. Lavelle Whittington came in shape 6 rounds. Now, again, we expect that. You're a professional. And abs don't win fights, jabs win fights. You said it best, Barack. What's this prospect got to do? Reito Tsutsumi, how does he put on a show?
He's gonna have to use his height, he's gonna have to use his reach and stay away from this guy. I know this kid, Tsutsumi, can pop. I don't know how much pop Lavelle has, but I know one thing, he came in shape. I told you.
Reito Tsutsumi, Lavelle Whittington,
we like
6 rounds, super featherweight.
We like this.
Fatal Fury
This
City
what the
Wolves,
weigh-in is all about, this moment right here.
Neither guy wanted to break that stare. And I think this is a message from both fighters. Reito saying, you might have more pro experience, but I'm coming here as the prospect.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You said you called one of his fights before, Whitaker. You know he comes to fight.
It's like I told you, I've called the Lavelle fight. He is a tough out. I don't care what his pro record is. That's why they're giving Reito this fight. They want to see, are you the real deal? We talked about it with the Ring magazine, his excellency. There are no easy fights, even in your pro debut.
I know, this seems to be the MO of Turki Alashek. Like, he's going to put you in tough fights. But what I said before is that the culture has to change.
Yeah.
People have to realize that that's what's happening now. So if you see a guy that got a couple of losses, he's still a great fighter.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that boxing needs. I want to see the best versus the best in pretty much every fight I watch. But now we move to our main card weigh-in. Now let's send it to our fighter introductions with Michael Buffer.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the weigh-in for tomorrow night's Fatal Fury at Times Square, New York City, New York, USA. It'll be a great night of world-class professional boxing for your entertainment, and it's all proudly presented by the Bible of Boxing, Ring Magazine, along with SNK Corporation, publisher of the famous video fighting game Fatal Fury City of Wolves, with promoters Oscar de la Hoya for Golden Boy Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, and Box Raw in association with Warriors Promotion, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, and Devin Haney Promotions. And it is sponsored by the Public Investment Fund. Visit Saudi, STC, SRMG, Dr. Suleiman Al Habib Medical Group, Saudia, the national airline for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Season, Milaf Cola, Visit Qatar, Core Group, Desert, Sky, Arab National Bank, First Data, Sella, and SMC. Quite a few great sponsors there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everyone that this event will be presented live worldwide on pay-per-view supplied by DAZN.com. DAZN.com. So we have 3 main events, 3 in a row. A great night of boxing, So let's get the fighters to the stage at this time with our first main event. 12 rounds of boxing, and this is for the WBO and Ring Magazine Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. First up to the stage and then on to the scales. He is from El Monte, California, USA, and brings his family with him, and a perfect professional record consisting of 32 fights, 32 victories, 11 wins by KO. He is the undefeated #1 ranked challenger in the world. Please welcome Arnold Barboza Jr. A perfect professional record, 32 fights, 32 victories. Next up onto the stage, and then he'll be getting on the scales. Now living and training out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but he comes to us from Brooklyn, New York. He is the former undisputed lightweight world champion. His professional record stands at 21 victories, 13 wins by KO, only 1 defeat. The reigning, defending WBO and Ring Junior Welterweight World Champion, Teofimo the Takeover Lopez. First onto the scales will be the challenger once again. A perfect professional record, 32 fights, 32 victories on the scale at this time. New York State Athletic Commission conducting the weigh-in. 139.8 pounds for the undefeated challenger, Arnold Barboza Jr. Next onto the scales, the reigning and defending champion, a 2-time world champion, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but a native of, originally from Brooklyn, New York, USA. Stepping onto the scales, the 2-time world champion, the defending champion tomorrow night, and he is Teofimo the Takeover Lopez. 139.6 pounds for the defending world champion, Teofimo the Takeover Lopez.
Wow.
You see what I was talking about filling out? You see Barboza?
Filled out.
See how he filled out a little bit? He's not looking slim. He's looking like he got some meat on his bones.
Yep.
I mean, look, Teofimo always looks in supreme shape.
Here they are,
always
face-to-face challenger
This is his look.
champion for our
Big
WBO
fight field, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this face-to-face.
This energy-
Teofimo wearing a mask. He's still drooling. Arnold Barboza ain't playing no more.
This
Mike
is-
Tyson got up.
This energy is real.
I don't know
New
why.
York, USA.
This is
can
real,
go down.
folks.
I think
This is
everybody
real
knows
bad
this can go
energy.
down.
Undefeated Arnold Barboza Jr.
This might be the fight of the night, guys.
Teofimo the Takeover Lopez.
These guys do not want to move.
Nobody breaking eye contact.
Just no slaps across the face.
No, we don't need that. Less than 24 hours away. WBO.
They don't want to move.
Ring
No.
Magazine.
They don't want to move yet. This is a real fight.
And this is what we talked about all week. The
Yes.
intensity. This one had it
Intense.
2 months ago, let alone right now. They know how it is. They know the levels of intensity. They know how serious this moment is. They're kicking off a three-fight main event card.
Absolutely.
Tio don't want to break. Tio hasn't broken yet.
No.
He hasn't broken the stare down yet.
And he wants him to know that.
They stare down once again.
Woo.
Looks like Mike Coppinger is ready with some interviews with the fighters.
Tio is feeling it.
Arnold, you've waited a long time for your first title shot. You're 33 years old. You're now 24 hours away. How are you feeling?
Oh man, if I'm ready, baby, let's get active.
I can see the intensity in your eyes. The other two main events have faced off all week, but this was your first face-off with Teofimo. What did you see in his eyes?
Oh man, we're ready. Both of us are ready, baby. We're gonna put on a show for New York City, baby. Times Square, make history. Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
And again, not just a wait for a title shot, but it's Teofimo Lopez in particular you've wanted for years. Why?
Oh man, because everything I've been through, man, I got this from the dirt, man. Anything given to me, man, it's all earned, hard way. For my last two fights, man, from my old promoter to my new promoter, but we're gonna see, man. We really real takeover tomorrow.
Arnold Barboza, 24 hours away. Good luck.
Thank you.
Now we're here with Teofimo Lopez. You call yourself the Takeover. You've earned that name. How do you steal the show tomorrow night? Well, so you're wearing a mask. You don't want to talk. What's going on?
I want to fight. I want to fucking fight. I'm ready. I want to fucking fight. I'm tired of everybody bullying me. I'm ready. No more. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. I'm ready. Been ready.
Yeah, you've waited almost a year for this fight. You fought last in June in Miami. Why are you so ready now?
Nah, that was 10 months ago. I'm still ready. Nobody wanted it. We here now. Everybody, thank you all. Look, we're wearing Blue Demon. You know what time it is. Lucha Libre, que viva Mexico, Honduras, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Japón, Japan. What's up, baby? We in the building.
And again, Teofimo, you are the Ring Magazine champion at 140, and we know that when the lights are the brightest, you are at your best. You're going to be fighting in Times Square. What can we expect?
Man, it's not about the lights, man. It's never been about that. It's against all odds. And the odds are not in my favor. Trust. And we against that. So let's go. We ready, man. You know what time it is. At the end of the day, I didn't have no co-signer. They did. We did it this way. Hard way. We went down, came right back up. Linear world champion 2 times. 25. We did it a decade before Crawford. Damn right. We in here. Let's go.
Teofimo Lopez, one of the best fighters in the world, defending his Ring Magazine title.
There he is, Teofimo Lopez. A message right there from Teofimo.
Terrence Crawford is in the building, sitting right by the stage.
Of our 3 big main event fights tomorrow night.
Yep.
What a message. What a face-off for that first fight. Incredible intensity, and that's just the beginning. We have 2 more main event level fights still to come.
It's a high level of anxiety when it comes to the weigh-in. When you see your opponent for the last time.
That's why he didn't want to break that stare. That energy, it's going to be with him until he fights.
He was locked in, though, Barack.
I wonder what was going through Crawford's mind right now from hearing that. 10 years.
That was a shot.
It was a jab for no reason, so I wonder what's going through his head.
Well, we know what's going through his head.
Derek Chisora is in the building.
Intensity in this room. Derek Chisora in the building. Tyson in the building. Tons of fighters. Personalities.
Jermaine Ortiz in the building.
Everybody understands it, though, Barack. Everybody knows this moment means everything to the city of New York. Looks like we're ready for our second matchup. Let's send it down to Michael Buffer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our second of the 3 main events contest. 12 rounds of boxing. This will be in the welterweight division. Introducing first from Avenal, California, USA. An outstanding record consisting of 29 victories, 18 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. He is Jose Carlos Ramirez. 29 victories, 18 KOs, only 2 defeats. Jose Carlos Ramirez. And his opponent, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, with a perfect professional record consisting of 31 fights, 31 victories, 15 big wins by KO. He's the former undisputed lightweight world champion and the former WBC junior welterweight champion of the world, ranked at #1 at 140 pounds by Ring Magazine, and he is Devin the Dream Haney. "12 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. First onto the scales, from Avenal, California, Jose Carlos Ramirez. $143.8 pounds for Jose Carlos Ramirez. Next on to the scales, his opponent, a 2-time world champion, former undisputed, undefeated lightweight world champion, former WBC junior welterweight world champion, ranked #1 in the world by Ring Magazine at 140. He is Devin the Dream Haney. 143 pounds even. 143 even.
There it is. Both fighters make weight. Devin the Dream Haney, he always comes in shape.
Oh, man.
He's looking in shape this time as well. This one's intense. It has been since yesterday when Devin said he was going to dust Jose Ramirez.
Listen, he knows what's at stake in October. He knows he has to get past this man first. And look at his neck. It's glittery. Those diamonds are dancing, man.
They're talking to each other right now. They know the importance of this. Former unified versus former undisputed. Both men looking to send a message. Devin with the long layoff. Jose Ramirez trying to prove everybody wrong right here in the middle of New York. Barack, what do you see?
I see long layoff, but long camp. Devin looking crazy chiseled. And Jose's finally focused, but this is at a new weight class, so we never know how he's going to perform.
Going at it in 3 main events.
We're here with Jose Ramirez, former champion at 140. Now you're fighting at a career high, 143.9. You see how big you look. How much better do you feel?
Much better. You know, I'm ready for May 2nd, and I just can't wait, man. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate, and we'll see. But I'm ready to fight, man. That's one thing that I am ready for. Last time I was here, I became a world champion, so I'm ready to make that statement again tomorrow.
And look, Jose, we know that you're one of the most polite fighters in all of boxing, but Devin Haney was chirping at you. You're going at him with him right now. What were you saying to him in that face-off?
You know, I'm ready. That's it. There's nothing to say. I'm ready.
Lastly, you are the underdog. Do you feel like you're being slept on in this fight?
I do my talking in the ring. That's it. And tomorrow I'm talking a lot in the ring.
All right, thank you, Jose. Best of luck. Yeah. Devin, you hear the boos. I think you like it. What do you feel when you hear those boos?
Let's go!
Look, I was with you last year when you fought Ryan Garcia. You were woozy, you were weight drains. Now you're fighting at a career high, 144-pound catch weight. How do you feel?
Better than ever. Alhamdulillah. I thank Allah for this opportunity, and I'm going to shine. It's going to be the best performance y'all ever seen from me. This is the best I ever felt. Inshallah, victory.
You know, we know you like to mix it up with some antics. You shoved Vasily Lomachenko once. Now you were yelling at Jose Ramirez. what were you telling him?
He gonna get hurt.
Okay, does that mean you're going for the stoppage?
We gonna see.
And then, of course, you're setting up that big fight with Ryan Garcia. You got to fight first against Jose. What do you want to show Ryan Garcia?
It all starts with Jose. Once I get past Jose, I'm gonna get to y'all boy.
Thank you, Devin.
There's Iron Mike Tyson. He is loving the action so far, and so are we. And guys, again, intense. Everybody understands the importance of this moment. I think one man that understands it more than we do is another New York native, Edgar Berlanga, in the building. Edgar, what's going on, baby? We're all excited to have you here. Just talk to us about how important this is to the city of New York.
Oh, this is important, you know. This is history in the making. First time this has ever been done. You know, a boxing match, a boxing fight, big mega fight, 3 main events in 42nd Street, something amazing.
And then a couple months down the line, we're here in Central Park, you in there against Shiraz. I mean, is this like the warm-up for that, for like innovative fights in New York?
Yeah, I wanted to see the atmosphere. You know, I came to support the fighters. You know, these are young guys that I came up with in the amateurs, and I'm excited, man. You know, now we're hearing that, you know, I could be fighting July 12th, Central Park, in my hometown.
Central Park's official now?
I mean, that's what they're saying. There's a whole bunch of
what we heard.
Yeah,
we
that's
don't
what
know.
we heard, so we don't know, man.
Whenever Turkey just mentions it, you mean it's official. You know? That EB stands for everything Brooklyn right there. Yo, imagine if you fought in Times Square, Puerto Rican Day weekend. What would that be like?
Oh, man, you're talking about the whole city's getting shut down for sure, man. Like, it's almost shut down right now, so just imagine a Puerto Rican Day weekend. You know, that's something to look forward to for next year.
What do you think about the matchup, the main event, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly, who's a dangerous puncher?
Yeah.
But this is a big stage. Nobody's ever can say they fought in Times Square. What do you think is going through Ryan and Rolly's head right now?
Right now, I know. I mean, they've been at that level already. You know, they fought the best. They fought in a big arena, right? You know. So I think for me, I feel like they're ready, man. I think they're ready to go. I think they're ready to perform. I think there's a lot of excitement. You know, me driving past that ring, bro, I'm like, nah, this is different.
It's different.
It is absolutely different. And again, we have all of the big-time fighters in the building tonight, including the destroyer himself, Conor Benn, is in the building. Fresh off his historic fight in London. They took over that city. We're taking over New York. Edgar, what do you think of that fight?
That's my brother right there, man. Conor Benn, that's my dog right there. Like, no, that's my dog, huh?
Are you proud of him?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. He's a legend. I say he's a legend. I told Keith Conley that. I said, yo, Keith, he's a legend. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. 62,000 people, right?
Yep. They went up 2 weight classes.
Yeah, bro. He's a legend, bro. You got to give credit when credit's due, you know. And he's doing it over there.
So what should he do? Do a rematch with him or go back to 147 fight like Mario?
Rematch. We got to get that lick back. We got to get that lick back, man.
No doubt, absolutely.
So when you see Conor Benn sitting there, when you see the fandom that created, when you see this event and the fandom that creates, you just have to be chomping at the bit to get back in there.
Of course, man. I'm excited. You know, listen, man, back in New York, you know, I'm going to shake the city for sure. You know, I fought Canelo. I'm coming off a first-round knockout, you know, so I'm looking to prove something. You know, whoever's my opponent, come July 12th, I'm looking to destroy, man.
Speaking of Canelo, he fights tomorrow. What do you think happens in that one?
Canelo's gonna win. You know, the Cuban guy. You know, he's not. I don't think he's a good fighter. Well, he's a good fighter, but I don't think he's that type of. I don't think he's an A fighter.
Good enough to be Canelo. Not good enough to be
Nah,
Canelo.
not good enough to be Canelo. I want that rematch though.
So what's the road to that rematch?
That rematch. I mean, you know, I gotta focus on July 12th. You know, I'm looking at. I want that Munguia fight. You know, I really want that fight. I feel like once I grab Munguia, I knock Munguia out. I feel like it's gonna make something happen. You know what I'm saying? I think the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans are gonna call for that fight again.
Yeah. I know you guys were respectful, you and Canelo, but I saw something earlier today. I was like, uh-oh, there's a problem again.
Yeah, I had a lot of respect for the guy, right? You know, obviously you see it after the fight. Even after the fight, showed him tons of respect. You know, but I was hearing things, you know, on social media, him doing interviews, saying that I was trying to survive. You know, And that's not that type of party. You know, I'm Puerto Rico. I come from New York, bro. You know, so when I come to fight, we come to fight. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we went 12. Come on, man. You know, you see his face. I fucked his face up.
We got you. And by the way, another big-time fighter in the building tonight, 2 times undisputed. It's Terrence Bud Crawford, ladies and gentlemen, your WBO World Super Welterweight Champion. He has some big things coming up, but let's send it back to Michael Buffer with our final fighter introductions.
Now, the weigh-in continues. Before we go to our next fight, we have greatness in the room with our fighters, and I would like to introduce just a few that I have spotted. Standing behind me, of course, he's a former Olympic gold medal champion, a 6-time 7-division world champion, from the Boxing Hall of Fame, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya. And standing right here behind me to my left, a man who made boxing history with over 20 defenses of his middleweight world championship. Also, he went from middleweight to the light heavyweight world title. Also from the Boxing Hall of Fame, the former undisputed middleweight world champion, former light heavyweight world champion, the man known as B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins! And sitting down here in the front row, ladies and gentlemen, we are in New York, where he is originally from. Ladies and gentlemen, I was lucky enough to introduce him many times in the world of boxing. One of the most popular heavyweight champions in boxing history. The former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson. So the third of our of our triple hitter fights tomorrow night is here for the official weigh-in. 12 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first from Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, 16 fights, 13 wins by knockout, only 2 defeats. He's the former junior welterweight world champion, Rolando Romero. And we got some music there, that's good. And his opponent to the stage and then to the scales from Victorville, California, USA. 24 fights, 24 victories, 20 big wins by KO, only 1 defeat. Ranked among the best in the world by Ring Magazine. And he is Ryan King Rye Garcia. First onto the scales, the young man that comes to us from Las Vegas, former junior welterweight world champion, Rolly Romero. 146.6 pounds for Rolando Rolly Romero. Next onto the scales, his opponent, 24 victories, 20 wins by KO, only 1 defeat. Ranked among the best in the world at 140 pounds. Welterweight fight tomorrow night on the scales. King Rye Garcia. 146.8 pounds for Garcia. Romero versus Garcia, the third of the triple hitter fights. Fatal Fury at Times Square, New York, USA. A great night of boxing. It's all available on pay-per-view on DAZN.com.
A short face-off.
Seems like
Garcia.
They're still looking at each other.
I mean,
talk to me.
Energy wasn't as intense as Teofimo and Barboza. They turn heads pretty quick.
They doesn't have to be big because they're all big punches.
You're right.
That's all we worried about. And you know what? Ryan's been talking all week about the size difference. I see it.
100% Morocco.
We're here with former world champion Romero. This is going to be your first fight at 147. And when I was in camp with you in Las Vegas, you said this jumping weight should have come a long time ago. How are you feeling?
Not so hungry this time.
And then again, this is going to be your second marquee fight. You fought Gervonta Davis also in New York a few years ago. Now you're going to be fighting in Times Square. What are you envisioning?
A knockout. It's a vicious knockout. You see, I knock him out. Long overdue.
It seems like it's been a pretty heated battle between you and Ryan, the face-offs, the trash talk. Is it personal?
I don't know what you guys are talking about. It hasn't been heated. I think it's been pretty professional.
All right, so we're going to see the knockout tomorrow night. Is that right?
Of course.
All right, Rolly Romero tomorrow night in Times Square. Thank you. All right. I think a lot of people are here to see you, of course. Ryan Garcia, one of the biggest stars in all of boxing. You're going to be fighting at a career-high 147 pounds. We know how big you are. How much better are you feeling right now?
Much better. You know, this is the weight class I belong in. This is the one I feel the most comfortable, so excited to start my journey at 147.
And this is going to be your first fight in a year. You had the layoff. Was that layoff good for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, but inactivity is the worst thing you have in your career, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of boxers go through it. I've been through it many times before, so I'm going to show out come Friday night.
Yeah, at yesterday's press conference, we saw you and Bill Haney get into it, and when I was with you in camp in La Jolla, you told me it's not personal between you and Devin, but it is between you and Bill. Why?
I mean, I'm not going to give too much energy into that. You know, he likes to talk a lot, but at the end of the day, you know, I got to focus on Rolly's tomorrow, because without winning that, we can't have that rematch. So I got to stay focused on Rolly's. He's a power puncher, so I got to watch every step.
Times Square, New York. You're going to be right in the center of the universe. Ryan Garcia, one of the biggest stars in all of boxing. How excited are you?
I'm super excited. I'm just blessed with this opportunity. I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, over everything. And, you know, we're ready to do our job.
Thank you, Ryan Garcia. Can't wait to see you tomorrow night.
Thank you. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the weigh-in. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 24 hours from now, Times Square, New York City. As the Bible of Boxing Ring Magazine, along with SNK Corporation, publisher of the famous video fighting game, Fatal Fury City of Wolves, presents a great night of world-class professional boxing. We'll see you all there. Thank you for coming.
And look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing some people having some fun on Fatal Fury. Had some fighters over there as well. Or they're actually, by the way, that's Teofimo Lopez. He's sitting there. You can't really see. He's got the mask on and the hoodie, but it's a who's who of fighters.
You're talking about Roberto Duran, Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone.
Come on.
With another legend, B-Hop, Bernard Hopkins, and then the all-time legend Mike Tyson right next to them.
Wonderful, wonderful. But look, Tio, he kind of got caught up in this game. I think he got carried away. He doesn't know what's going on.
I don't know if that's wordplay from you, Barack. While he's playing the game, he got caught up in it. That's bars.
You know, a little something. I'm a rapper. But right now it's just a game takeover. That's right. City of the Wolves, Fatal Fury.
How comfortable is he to be able to? He has one of the biggest fights of his career tomorrow, and he's right there playing video games.
He's a gamer.
Yes.
You can see that he's a gamer at heart.
He is a gamer. He is a gamer. Another gamer, or maybe we should say a destroyer, has just joined us in the booth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big, warm welcome to Conor Benn. Conor, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I wish I was fighting tomorrow. I'm not even going to lie. I wish I was fighting tomorrow.
You want to get back in there that quick?
Of course I do. I'm ready. I'm healed. I'm recovered. I feel rejuvenated. I feel the energy. I feel alive.
I'm ready to just go again.
Did you even get touched? I don't see nothing on your face.
Miraculous healing.
I see that.
Yeah, so that's called youth.
He's a Black Panther. Listen, have you been to Times Square and saw where the ring is and all of the billboards? Have you rolled by there yet?
I've seen it driving past.
Okay.
Crazy.
Insane.
Crazy. You talk about making history. You know, it's never been done before. You can see it's crazy, but it's always the crazy ideas that turn out the best ideas.
Yeah. Even though you're not fighting, do you think fight night you're going to get goosebumps?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm going to be shadowboxing.
Seems like he's feeling them right now.
Yeah, I'm feeling it now. Do you know what? I love the game so much that for me it's like I always look forward to the break, and then as soon as the fight's done, who's next?
Yeah.
What's next?
Bring them out.
How quick can we get out next?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just a young mentality of a fighter who just loves fighting, man.
Yeah.
I don't want no break.
I mean, Connor, real quick, take us through that fight. I mean, it was just less than a week ago, and I just want to know your thoughts on what happened and how you performed.
Yeah, listen, I was too emotional. I was in there trying to take his head off, where I could have used my speed, agility. I just wanted to meet him in the middle and have a fight, you know, and maybe that was too much emotion involved.
Right.
You know, but when there's a lot on the line, you can't help but emotion creep in. But for me, the second time round, I won't make them mistakes again.
Did you watch the fight straight away right after the fight when you got home?
I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it yet?
He's seen probably some of this
I've seen the highlights. I know how I felt in there. I felt like I nicked it by a point. I felt like it could have gone either way. I think the scorecards weren't great or a true reflection of the fight. But ultimately, it was my fault for letting it go to the judges' scorecards. Ultimately, for me, I lost because I thought I was going to get him out there within 4 rounds, and that was my intention.
That moment after the fight, after the decision was made, we saw the emotions on you by the ring. Your father gave you a long embrace. You hugged him for a long time. Did he say anything to you? If so, what did he say?
There was nothing to say. I mean, I was heartbroken. I'm standing there at the end of the road. Some guy, 116, 112. 116, 112. What fight was I in? Right. What fight was I watching? I can't see how it was 116, 112. And not to me.
Right.
You know, so for me it was, let me go back to the drawing board, let me work, let me learn. How can I do better? You know, you have to be your harshest critic in this game. Otherwise you go nowhere. I don't want to sit there and go, congratulations, go, what a fight. There were no losers. Well, there was a loser.
Right.
And it's that man crying on his dad's shoulder.
Right.
He was already proud of you, but do you think that moment made him more proud?
I mean, he made the whole country proud of you.
I mean, yeah, I know, but I wish I got the win, you know, and I work hard to get the win. I don't work hard to just compete. I don't work hard for it to be close. I don't work hard for it to be a loss on my record.
Right.
I work hard to win. I'm a winner. And I'll make sure I go back to the drawing board and do what I need to do to make sure that it's so convincingly there will be uproar, more uproar if it had gone the other way.
Well, this is going to be Ryan Garcia's first time in your weight division. Are you going to be paying close attention?
If it's not you back next, I'll have Garcia next.
Wow.
Okay.
I'll drop back down to 147 and go straight back in. At 147, that's where I'm my most dangerous. That's where you see the clinical knockouts. The 154s, the 160s seem to absorb the shots better. You know, no doubt I had Eubank hurt at 160, you know, 4 or 5 times in the fight. Just couldn't get the finish, just couldn't pull the trigger. You know, at 147, it's a different ballgame.
Are you prepared to maybe get inside the ring if Garcia should win and maybe a little face-off energy like...
You see what's testing his energy is, you know what I'm saying?
No, let him have his moment.
Good for you.
Let him have his moment.
Unless he calls you out.
If he calls out, I'll go, we can have it right now, mate. We can have it right now.
What about this? I saw you interacting a little bit on Twitter today with maybe a Devin Haney matchup as well. You said line him up.
I don't fancy a lawsuit, man. I don't fancy catching a case.
Oh, no.
I don't want a case, man.
God.
Yeah, sorry, but it's true. I can't see past that. See Miguel Cotto when he fought Margarito. Handled it like a man. He paid the ultimate price and gave him a beating. That's how a man handles things. Right. Not filing no lawsuit, not complaining about you lost. Accept it.
Well, he has to win tomorrow night against
I think
Ramirez.
he's in a tough fight. Fingers crossed he gets the job done. Right. You need people like Haney in the sport box. You need Garcias. You need the big characters in the sport boxing. People invested in character more than ability.
Okay, so out of these 3 fights, which one do you think has the more probability of being an upset?
Probably Ramirez, Haney.
Right,
Probably.
okay.
That's just what I think. I think Rolly's been stopped a couple times now. I think Garcia will be going in there full of confidence. You know, although he's had some time out, if he stayed in the gym and stayed active, you know, there won't be no ring rust. So, you know, I expect Garcia to come out and put on a statement. I think T.O.'s all wrong for Barboza, although I like Barboza, I like both men. I think T.O.'s all wrong. I think the only upset that could happen potentially is Ramirez, Haney.
So, okay, that's your upset of the night. Which one do you think will be fight of the night?
I could see that being Garcia, Rolly.
Okay.
Rolly's just got to catch him. You've seen Ryan Garcia go down with Campbell. Right. See him go down with Javonta with a body shot. So I think that could be lively, but I think Garcia will come out on top.
Rolly's strong too, man. We saw him on stage. Did anybody, I know you were sitting front row there, anybody impress you physique-wise, intensity-wise, focus-wise on stage?
I was too starstruck by Mike Tyson.
He was right beside you.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting there going, what am I doing sitting here next to Mike and Roberto? What am I doing sitting here?
Did you speak to him for a second? Did you guys dap each other?
I was like a kid. I'm like, Vic, did you get the picture? I couldn't even ask him for a picture.
Oh,
you
man.
know,
So you didn't get a pic with Mike?
I did get.
We got to get Mike up here.
No, I got a pic on the side.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I won't. I see T.O.'s looking in great shape. I'm not going to lie. Haney's looking in the best shape I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
were you trying to like imitate Mike with your outfit?
No, I'm not. Which outfit? This one or
no,
fight
the outfit, the fight night outfit.
There's only one Mike.
Okay. But it reminded me of it, and the way you came out with the ferocity.
I'd say that's all my dad.
All right.
I'd say that's just a genetic pass down. Not intentional.
Now, real quick, we talked about the stage in Times Square. You know New York City. You got even New York City vibe and sauce. Yeah. Would you ever want to fight in this city?
I love America. I love America. They welcome me in. They took me in. The bed name's familiar here. I'm not even lying to you. I walk the streets of New York.
Right.
Come on, man.
Wow.
What a fight. Yeah, like all day.
It's a pretty good American accent, by the
I'm
way.
surprised like I'm in a different country.
Pretty good.
I like that.
Yeah, of course I am. Because I'm sitting in there like, you heard.
Listen, if they don't want you back there, we'll take you.
I'll come back.
That's right.
But yeah, no, the love I get shown here, it blows my mind. Because I'm like, it just blows my mind. You never get used to it. How am I known over here? The fight was that big that, it's come across this side of the pond and
pay-per-view success, but sometimes those fights don't live up to the hype. Yours exceeded it.
Do you know what? I want to give people value for money. Win, lose or draw. People go, Cole, I want to watch Conor Ben fight.
They're going to say that.
Win, lose or draw.
Yeah.
You know, willing to jump up 2 weights, put in the performance that I need to put in. Give people value for money. That's what they pay for. It's the entertainment business. I ain't going to go in there and try and nick rounds and just win.
Right.
I'm going in there, let's have it then. You know, give people what they pay for.
Right.
And that's the entertainment. That's blood.
Right.
This is blood money.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, a lot of people were talking about Chris Eubank boiling down to 160. Meanwhile, his last 4 fights was at 160, but he still couldn't make the weight. What do you think of that?
I don't know, I'm laughing to the bank, isn't I? He got me paid.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what I bought with it.
An extra $500,000?
Wait till you see what I bought with it. No, that's something else. That's light work.
Okay.
Wait till you see what I bought with it.
Are we going to see on Instagram?
Mine's gold. I don't know.
Next week you're going to see on Instagram.
So you're going to talk about
Chris.
it?
Yeah, cool. Thank you, Chris. You bought me a lovely birthday present.
Yeah, wait, is it a car? Is it a car?
Well, I mean, Chris did come down to 160, but he put that video out, and a lot of people now there's some blowback.
No, but a lot of people make that weight the same weight for 10 grand, 5 grand.
Right.
It's a standard weight cut procedure. It's what people do. But he's good at getting the sympathy vote. Let him get it.
Right.
You know, let him get it. But all I know is he got rocked about 4 or 5 times by a welterweight. And more fool me, I should have pulled the trigger and got the stoppage. I won't let that happen next time. I'll pull the trigger and I make sure when I shoot I don't miss.
At some point you got to watch the fight though, right?
I will
so you can see what mistakes you made.
I've got to build up the courage because I know I've done wrong.
I know, yeah.
I know I've done a lot wrong, so I've got to build up the courage to watch it, man.
And he's his biggest critic. You know that.
Hey, I'm not happy with that, man.
I mean, you're ranked high on the WBC. Are you going to give up that dream? Go back down to 147, fight Barrios, and bring a trinket to your father? Like, look, now.
Part of me wants to avenge the loss.
Yeah.
And I believe I can because I believe I won the fight anyway.
Yeah.
I believe I can make the adaptation and change that I need to make to win the fight.
but in the same breath, I love the WBC or WBA world title. So, whichever's next, I've got options there.
But do you think Chris will give you that rematch? Do you think he wants to fight again? That was a tough fight for him.
I don't think he got a broken jaw. That was what got circulated back to me.
Right.
His head was swollen, but he's got a big head anyway. you know. So I don't know if it was. I don't know what happened, but he's got a big head anyway. But there were mistakes I made in the fight where I could have capitalized on shots that I landed that I didn't follow through with. So there's simple mistakes that I made. But he fought a good game. He fought with experience. He used his weight. So credit to him. I take my hat off to Chris, and what a great dancing partner he was.
And he didn't hurt you in that fight throughout the fight.
It was me and him that made that night.
Yeah.
So I've got to take my hat off to him and go, Chris,
yes,
you made this what it was.
Right.
You made this what it was. You're a great dancing partner, and a big shout out to him for giving me one hell of a fight. But ultimately, I was gunning for the stoppage in the 4 rounds. So even if it had gone points and I'd won, I'd still lost in my head. Because that's not the intention I'd gone in there with. I can't make the same mistake twice.
All right, so you kind of told us a little bit earlier, but one more time for the fans, your predictions for
we need
tomorrow
those predictions.
night.
Predictions tomorrow night. Garcia by mid-stoppage. Teofimo win over Barboza, out-go points. And then you got Haney versus Ramirez. That's the only one I think could cause an upset. Because I don't know what mental state Haney's in, and he lost the case as well. So I don't know what mental state he's in, but he's looking in phenomenal shape. It's the only one I think that could be an upset.
Yeah, I think that there's so many things that can happen on this card, but Conor, we thank you for showing up. We thank you for being here. We thank you for putting on one of the greatest fights I've ever seen live just under a week ago. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Destroyer, Conor Venn. Conor, we'll see you off. Thank you so much, brother. Like I said, it's been an incredible week here. But DAZN is not only the global leader in boxing, it is also the official global broadcaster for the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, which will feature 32 of the world's top football clubs. Teams from Europe, Asia, the Americas, Africa, and Oceania will compete for the coveted Club World Champion title.
Greatness comes to DAZN this summer. The world's best players will be summoned together to decide the greatest club on earth.
Vinicius, great chance.
Goats will battle Wonder Kids. Fire will meet ice. From Boca to Bayern, PSG to Palmeiras, 32 clubs from across the globe will compete to be crowned world champion. And this summer, Haaland won't be watching from home, but you can, on DAZN. In every country in the world. FIFA Club World Cup. Watch on DAZN from the 14th of June.
There is Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And folks, do not forget, yes, here, Friday, May 2nd in New York, Garcia versus Romero. But also the next day, Canelo takes on William Skull. You can check out that weekend knock-in bundle at DAZN, as once again, Canelo will be in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And for more on that, let's send it to our guys on the ground, Chris Mannix, Sergio Mora, and Todd Grisham.
About 48 hours away from Canelo Alvarez's first fight in Saudi Arabia. In fact, his first fight ever outside of North America, as he faces William School to try and become undisputed champion of the super middleweight division once again. And Sergio, this fight night, or fight morning rather, for Canelo is going to feel way different than his normal bouts in Las Vegas.
No, absolutely. First of all, the climate and the atmosphere is going to be different. I mean, there's going to be, instead of fighting in front of 25,000 people, it's going to be a lot less than that. It's not going to be as normal Mexican crowd, the normal Cinco de Mayo weekend, but he's a champion. He knows how to adapt. That's part of being Canelo Alvarez. So I don't think it's going to be much problem fighting at 6 in the morning as long as he knows what he has to do.
I think he has adapted already. We talked to him earlier this week, and he said it took him a couple of weeks to get fully acclimated to this new time zone and this new environment. But he said he feels more like the normal Canelo now that he's been there. I do think the 6 in the morning thing is hilarious. Like, he told us this week that he is going to jump into a cold plunge at about midnight to wake himself up to get ready to go for a fight that's going to kick off around 6 a.m. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I think Canelo, his experience, he's going to be prepared.
Let's talk about his opponent, William Scholl, fighting out of Cuba by way of Germany. 30-1 underdog, Sergio. Those are almost Tyson versus Douglas type of odds. If you were advising him on how to stay competitive and possibly to beat Canelo Alvarez, what's your game plan?
Well, look, you got to stick to what you are. He's a Cuban boxer from that Cuban school, so you got to that 1-2, that jab, that long reach. He's going to be the taller fighter. He's a natural super middleweight. So try to set that jab up until you land that big right hand. You frustrate Canelo. Make Canelo get over aggressive and run him into shots. Easier said than done, but Canelo has been outboxed with a jab and footwork, and Scholl has that.
Okay. He has not been outboxed with a jab and with footwork. All right.
Dimitri Bivol, Erizoni Lara, Austin Trout was having good moments.
Erizoni Lara lost. Austin Trout got knocked out, and Dimitri Bivol's 175 pounds.
I said success. I didn't say they were going to win.
Look, I don't disagree that that's probably what we're going to see from William Scholl. I just think it's a recipe to lose 12-zip. I think his best chance of success is to try to out-volume Canelo Alvarez. Like Canelo Alvarez in this phase of his career has become a much more judicious puncher than he was early in his career. Only he's going to throw around 40, 45 punches per round. At least that's what he's done in some recent fights. I think William Scholl, if he's here to win, he's got to sell out. I think he's got to let his right hand go. I think he's going to try to hurt Canelo and just do some different things. Because if he boxes the way you're telling him to box, 11-1, 12-zip, this is not going to go William Scholl's way.
And if he fights judiciously, he's going to, or frugally, and not throw punches, then you're only going to get knocked out earlier because, look, he doesn't have he keeps his chin exposed. When he falls off balance a little bit when he misses that right hand, he doesn't have the best technique. So he is who he is. So you got to fight the way you are. And I just think you shouldn't sell out like that.
Well, you mentioned knocking him out. Canelo hasn't gotten a knockout in the last 5 fights. He's dropped his opponents. How much pressure is there for Canelo to win this by knockout?
Zero. I think he's already decided that this is the version of him he's most comfortable with. He builds an early lead, he knocks an opponent down, and then he cruises to a decision. Talking to Canelo this week, I don't get the sense that he's eager to score a quick knockout.
All right, well, it happens Saturday morning. Actually, it's technically Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, local time here in Saudi Arabia. Canelo versus William Scholl for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world.
Thanks, guys, and how about this? The big fights keep coming. Just announced on DAZN, June 14th, Richardson Hitchens is defending his IBF super lightweight title right here in NYC against former unified lightweight champion George Kambosos, who's making his debut at 140 pounds. Plus, a July 19th doubleheader live from Wembley Stadium, Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois, the rematch for the undisputed heavyweight title. And later that same day, Bam Rodriguez returns for the first time in 2025, taking on Pumalala Kafu in a unification fight in Dallas, Texas. I messed up the truth's name there, and that's my fault, but Pumalala, I messed up the truth's name, man. But you know what I'm saying? He is the truth, and the truth is, this week has been incredible, guys. We've had some amazing moments. I had to separate some fights. We had some fighters on stage that I couldn't have dreamed of being on stage with. I just want you.
A press conference.
I can't believe it, man. But we're not done yet. We still have the fight to get to. I just want your final thoughts on everything that's happened and what will happen tomorrow night.
Look, first off, it's been great working with you all week, right?
Of course.
You know, that's a long time coming. The being a part of a historic event in boxing in New York City. You know, Baraka and I grew up in New York City. I remember the arcade in Times Square. That place was so gritty. I could never imagine what I watched when I drove by there yesterday. So I'm excited to be a part of it. And the matchups is what I'm most excited to see tomorrow. We'll be hosting a pre-show party for Corona. I can't wait for the fights, man. I can't wait for the first fight. I'm talking about Teofimo Lopez versus Barboza.
Well, Wade, now we know that you'd make a good bouncer. You stopped a couple of fights. Not bad. I know you felt his abs when you was pushing him.
I was saying, those things are etched in stone, baby. He said etched in something else, but they're etched in stone.
Absolutely. But
listen, you got some abs
watch out.
The weigh-in is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's just for us to see who did the work. They all put the work in.
Yeah.
We just got to wait for tomorrow to see the performances. That's it.
That's really it. And do I get picks out of you guys while we're here? Final picks?
Nah, you're not getting no picks.
Not quite? Okay.
I'll give you some picks, man.
Okay,
Why not, man? The fighters are giving picks. You're going to have to give me some picks as well. You got to reciprocate that energy, all right? I see all of the favorites winning tomorrow night. I think there's too much at stake moving ahead for every one of those fighters. It won't be easy. I'm no disrespect to the guys that are considered the B-side or the underdogs. I just don't think it happens. I don't think we see any upsets
Just
tomorrow
don't
night.
call me when Barboza's knocking on your door. That's
Hey,
all.
listen, I think Barboza's a phenomenal fighter. He's asking me for a pick. I'm not going to run away from it because I'm not scared. Okay?
I'm with Doc. I genuinely think that all the favorites have a real chance at winning this thing and moving on to big stuff. But coming up Friday, we have the Cinco de Mayo weekend preview show with Pat McAfee at 4 p.m. And then, of course, we have Fight Night with Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, which will be a 4 o'clock host for you guys, too. You guys will be making some appearances. How's that feeling?
Yeah, on Fight Night, just to warm the people up, warm the fans up before they get into the pay-per-view, I'm ready for it.
All I can say is that 20 years from now, they're going to talk about this because it's probably never going to be done again. And I'm going to say I was there.
Part of that.
Woo! It's been something great to be a part of, from the grand arrivals to the open workouts. The intensity has been building. Folks, you do not want to miss this card because 3 fights, 3 main events, some of the biggest, brightest stars in boxing will make their name in Times Square this Friday night. The lights, camera, action are ready. We are ready, and it's under 24 hours away. We will see you tomorrow night.
Haney. This is what happens when you lose. Enjoy your rest, Ryan. You're gonna need it.
Enough talk. Get to the fight already. Hey, Haney! Come on!
More like the Lion King. The dream? More like... You're a cheater. You ain't gonna do shit. The juice combo. You're a cheater. You're a liar. Hell, grab your crying apple. No more Austria.